The Stand of Lena Harper. In the sleepy town of Willow Creek, Georgia, where oak-lined streets whispered of old secrets, a morning walk became the spark that ignited a firestorm. Lena Harper, a black woman in her late 50s, stepped out at dawn with her two dogs, Titan and Grace. Her boots tread lightly on the cracked sidewalk, her face unreadable beneath a faded baseball cap. To the neighbors, she was a mysterious solitary figure who kept her gate locked and her life guarded. But on this chilly October morning, a patrol car crept up, its engine humming with menace. The officers inside didn't know Lena was a retired Navy SEAL, nor did they grasp that Titan and Grace were far more than pets. What began as a tense standoff unraveled into a battle of wills, exposing a system rotten with prejudice and a community complicit in silence, and one woman's relentless fight to expose a traitor hiding behind a badge. Lena's home, a modest gray cottage at the end of Maple Lane, stood apart, its peeling paint a quiet defiance of the neighborhood's tidiness. Locals called her the Maple Widow, spinning tales of prison, mercenary work, or covert CIA missions. No one knew the truth, but all agreed. Steer clear of Lena and her dogs. Titan, a massive Belgian Malinois with a coat like polished obsidian, moved with the precision of a soldier. Grace, leaner, with eyes sharp as steel, shadowed him like a ghost. They didn't chase squirrels or bark at strangers. They were a unit, forged in the chaos of Mosul, where Lena led a covert Black Ops K-9 unit. A decade ago, a betrayal cost her team their lives, leaving her with a jagged scar across her thigh and a home wired like a fortress: cameras, motion sensors, and reinforced doors. That morning, as mist clung to the grass, Lena passed the park and spotted a police cruiser idling near the old oak bench. Officer Mark Tate, tall and cold-eyed, watched her. He wasn't a stranger. Years ago, as a mercenary codenamed Echo 2, he'd abandoned her unit in Mosul, leaving them to die in a trap. Now, wearing a badge, he was back, and Lena's scar itched a bodily alarm honed by years of survival. She returned home, fed Titan and Grace, and checked her security feeds. The local news buzzed about routine safety checks, but Lena knew it was a lie. That night, her dog stirred, ears pricked. Through a slit in her curtains, she saw two figures in her yard: no uniforms, no badges, just shadows. Her system pinged, motion detected. Lena whispered, "Wait." Titan glided from the darkness, his eyes pinning the intruders. One stammered, "Just checking." Lena's voice sliced through, "No warrant, no entry." They fled, but her cameras captured every frame. The next day, Tate and his partner, Officer Tom Reed, a burly man with a sneer, confronted Lena on her walk. Reed waved a notepad, citing complaints about aggressive dogs. Lena stood her ground. "My yard's gated. No kids play at night." Tate's eyes gleamed. "We can inspect if needed." Lena's voice hardened. "Not without a warrant. Or is this about a black woman living too quietly for your taste?" Reed stepped forward, reaching for Titan, who let out a low, rumbling growl. "Step back," Lena warned. "He's holding back. Don't make him choose." Tate raised a hand, signaling retreat, but his parting shot lingered. "Cooperate next time, Harper." Lena saved the footage, her pulse steady, knowing the game had begun. At the Willow Creek police station, Tate spun a web. He filed reports labeling Lena unstable, her dog's attack weapons. An anonymous complaint, backed by a blurry photo of Titan leaping a fence, landed on Chief Monroe's desk. Tate scoured Lena's military records, finding only commendations for missions, one critical injury, honorable discharge. His frustration boiled. He enlisted Karen Walsh, a nervous neighbor, to film Lena's yard, twisting her training into menace. Soon, a special surveillance order justified drones buzzing over Lena's house, and a warning letter slipped into her mailbox. But Lena was no prey. With Sarah, a tech wizard, and James, an internal affairs officer, she built a case. Her home became a stronghold: cameras on every angle, sensors under windows, and a basement where she drilled with Titan and Grace, their movements as sharp as a SEAL team's. The storm broke at 2:37 a.m. under a veil of rain. Lena's sensors flashed, two intruders. Tate stood bold, staring into her camera, unafraid. She flipped a switch, plunging the house into black, then flooded the yard with blinding light. Titan slammed into Tate's chest, pinning him. Grace locked onto the second man's wrist, dragging him to the mud. "Withdraw," Lena commanded, her voice iron. Tate flashed a badge, but Lena countered. "You're trespassing. I have proof." They retreated, but the war escalated. Hours later, a SWAT team stormed her home, citing a warrant. Titan and Grace disoriented the intruders, never biting, only holding ground. Lena, in her faded SEAL uniform, stood tall. This is an armed intrusion. It's recorded. Across the street, Karen, once hostile, filmed, her phone a beacon in the dark. Lena was cuffed and led to a cell, but she sat unshaken, her mind on the evidence Sarah was uploading. Within hours, justice for Harper trended. Veterans rallied. One posting, "Lena saved me in Iraq. She's no threat." James leaked Tate's Mosul betrayal, tying him to illegal funds from a shadow group, El Protocol. The press erupted, and Tate's arrest aired live, his face ashen as cuffs snapped shut. But Lena's fight wasn't over. She, Sarah, and James planned a covert strike. At midnight, they infiltrated the police station, James disabling security, Sarah hacking cameras, and Lena, with Titan and Grace, extracting server data proof of forged warrants, falsified reports, and Tate's dirty money. They escaped through a ventilation duct, rain washing their tracks. Lena walked free, met by Titan and Grace, their eyes locked on her. She didn't celebrate. She vanished, leaving the evidence to dismantle the system. The Grace Protection Act passed, banning the mislabeling of trained dogs. Willow Creek transformed citizens spoke out, old complaints reopened, and Echo Hall, a community center, rose where the station stood. Months later, in a town 200 miles away, a woman walked two dogs, one black, one white, by a lake. She read philosophy, left wildflowers on porches, and smiled at children. No one asked her name, but they knew. Lena Harper didn't need to shout. Her silence rewrote history. On April 27th, schools held Civic Communication Day, inspired by her stand. A bus poster read, "You don't need to shout to make change." Lena's legacy wasn't a name, it was a challenge. What do you do when the system betrays you? She answered by standing firm, and Willow Creek carried her truth forward. Lena's story lays bare the raw edges of violence and injustice in our world. Was her defiance worth the cost, or did it push too far? Should she have fought silently, or was her public stand the only way? Drop your take in the comments. Tell us where you stand on battling a system that fails its people. Your voice matters.